What's something your body did that you thought was normal, until you were told otherwise? I didn't know I had tinnitus, I thought everyone experiences it. The worst part is there's no cure, so now I just have to sit here listening to until I die. Great. I asked my eye doctor why night driving was like this for me. He said he couldn't think of a single reason why. Time to get a new eye doctor. I thought everyone got searing pain in the back of their head with a sneeze, frequent headaches and tingling fingers. Turns out I have Chiari malformation. Crippling menstrual issues. No doctor believed me and said it was just your diabetes. I'd complained to multiple doctors and no one did anything other than give meds for the pain. I had a hysterectomy on the 28th, Thursday, and I was in recovery. I felt like $1,000,000, the drugs, sure, that's what I thought. So later that day the nurse was asking about my pain because I hadn't asked for anything for it. I wasn't in pain anymore, I didn't need anything. I have no more cramping, it's all gone. The kicker is my abdomen isn't puffed out and I look like I've dropped weight. Yes, I was tender after having the procedure, but nothing like the pain I've had the last 20 years or so. I had no idea I had terrible allergies for years. It sounds dumb, but I just thought horribly watery eyes, constantly itchy skin, and not being able to breathe were normal. Hearing the high-pitched whiny whoosh of fluorescent lighting and certain other electric devices. I'm a card-carrying member of R Earrumblers Assemble and R Eustachian Tube Click. I thought everyone could make their ears rumble on command and click them. But we are actually the elite. Seeing colors when I play music. Discovered this in high school band class. I was discussing some of the pieces we were playing and brought up that the sheet music kind of changed color when we played. Everyone else kind of looked at me like I was crazy. Turns out it's synesthesia. Very cool. When I first start getting any kind of cold or flu, my libido shoots through the roof. I thought this was normal and some kind of human immune reaction. Nope, just me. I was diagnosed with asthma as a baby. Growing up, running was torture and I would tire quickly. Sucked because I was quite athletic. Everyone assumed I was lazy. And because I never took any asthma meds, I assumed I was also lazy because if my asthma were causing me problems then obviously I'd have meds, right? I also assumed that everyone else's lungs also burn during cardio, but they push through the pain. Turns out asthma sucks. Turns out I was medically neglected as a child and should have been on meds since birth. Oops. Thinking in concepts and words. A classmate once asked the question, how do dogs think without language? I said, well, you don't always have thoughts in full sentences, right? So well, that's kinda how a dog thinks all the time, I guess. Then I learned some people do only think in words. Later I also learned that most people either think in either words or concepts, but not both. Apparently everyone else can breathe through their nose really easily. I always thought yoga teachers were kind of dicks about the breathing stuff and pacing. Nope. Turns out I have a pretty badly deviated septum as well as enlarged turbinates. So my airflow is pathetic compared to everyone else's. Working to get a surgery to fix it soon. I didn't think it was normal, yet my body did. My appendix was underneath my stomach until I was 44. I didn't know my digestive tract was malrotated by 90 degrees until I was 44. It only happens in 1/100th people and is usually caught at birth. I had surgery to return everything to normal position. After 7 days it flipped back to how it was and my SM intestines balled up causing blockages. After 5 more surgeries from additional complications, I ended up losing my duodenum, 3.5 feet of SM intestine and 2 feet of LG intestine, 75 pounds and 18 months in and out of the hospital. I was probably in my late teens or 20s before I learned that the sound of silence is actually tinnitus. I thought yellow mustard was really spicy and made your mouth sting and tingle. I love mustard, and thought that was just the taste and it happened to everyone. Turns out I'm allergic to turmeric, the spice that makes mustard bright yellow. Edit. To clarify, I believe mustard is slightly spicy. But not to the extent I experience it. My mouth burns and tingles, like someone is stabbing me with tiny needles. Just because you find mustard spicy, which most varieties are, mustard seed is slightly spicy, doesn't mean there is something wrong. Also, I thought it was normal to sneeze at the sun. Turns out it's photic sneezing and is something left over from some evolution. Nobody knows exactly why it happens, but it's pretty cool and entertaining. Not being able to see objects in my mind. I thought when people said to close your eyes and imagine, everyone sees the black abyss that I see. Now I know why I can't draw anything without a template. I didn't realize that artists can see the picture in their mind. Not make a lot of serotonin. If you can't make your own, store-bought is fine. Turn dairy into diarrhea. Edit. My first ever awards turns out having an intolerance to lactose isn't all bad after all. Thank you kind strangers. I thought everyone saw tiny pixel-like dots everywhere. Turns out that I have visual snow and most don't see that way. Also, I can taste words, mostly names. It's a form of synesthesia. While driving at night all the lights have off a blur around them, turns out I have astigmatism in both eyes. I thought lights at night just sucked.